My name is Noelle and the 7 is my Enneagram type, and today we are finally divorcing Amazon, officially once and for all. Please pardon the bedhead. It's been a very lazy, chill day at home, and I am about to take you through the process of setting up my storygraph account, which is the last little step in removing Amazon influence from my life. I don't want to get on my soapbox or anything. I just personally would rather give my money to small businesses and other businesses that are not contributing to Jeff Bezos' $180 billion. And that's really my prerogative. So for example, rather than buying books from Amazon, I have been using bookshop.org, which is fantastic and I love them very, very much. And instead of Audible, I have been using Libby, my library, Hoopla. I'm looking into Scribd for like a subscription to audiobooks that aren't from my library. And the last piece has been Goodreads and like the way that I track my online reading and share my reading kind of with the community. And I'm finally getting around to it. And I really don't know much about Storygraph going into this, except what I do know is that there is a lot of like data and graphs. I know that you can do half stars, even though I don't really use half stars. And I know you can track like reading challenges and things. So those are all little parts that I'm looking forward to, and I don't know how it kind of connects with like my existing data that lives on Goodreads, but what I've heard is that it's easy to export and import into the new system. So we're going to cross our fingers that that ends up being the case, and I will take you along with me while we set up my account and my reading challenges and blah blah blah. And that's the video. So if you have been curious of what the setup looks like or what Storygraph has to offer that is different than Goodreads, then just keep watching because we will get there. We will go through all of the fun things. Okay, so I am at Storygraph's homepage and I'm going to click sign up and enter my info and see what happens. Oh, yes. Okay, so that was so easy. And then it's asking me import Goodreads data and we're going to say, yes, please. They literally have it linked. That's what this is. It's like too easy. Look at that. Okay, it sent me right to the link after I was looking all over in Goodreads for it. Okay, anyways, export library. Oh my god. Okay, that I thought that might actually take a lot longer, but that only took about 30 seconds. So we're gonna click on this and download it. Now we're going back over to Storygraph, upload or drag the file you downloaded. Okay. Is it really this easy? It's working on the import, and when it's done, they'll send me an email. So we will be back once they have imported and I have received the email.
20 minutes later.
So it transferred all of this. Recently read, 5-star reads. This is so fun that it just gives me this summary. Mainly reads fiction books that are adventurous, emotional, and reflective. Typically chooses medium-paced books between 300 and 500 pages. Like, that's so fun. I'm overwhelmed by how clean and like updated and intuitive this is, and there's so much information. Like, this is my last 5-star read, which is a nonfiction book. I loved it. You will hear much more about this later. It says nonfiction science sociology, and then the vibe is like dark, informative, reflective, medium paced. Oh my god, I can just mark as owned, or I can buy it. These are my shelves. Wow. I love this. I can add content warnings or view content warnings. They're just built in. I didn't know that. There's just built-in content warnings on the website submitted by users in their reviews. Wow. Check this out. On the homepage, under recommendations, where it says, it doesn't matter what you're in the mood for, we'll help you find a perfect book. When you click find out more, it sends me to this reading preferences survey. Let's see. Let's do this together. We love a good quiz. This is putting me in such a good mood. Your 5 favorite genres. Look at all of the, oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Okay, graphic novel. I think I'm committing to sci-fi, fantasy, magical realism, feminism, graphic novel. You can select up to 5, but if it would let me, I'd probably pick like 12. But that's the point. That's the point. We're trying to zero in. Which of these characteristics do you appreciate the most in books right now? You can select up to 3. I'm gonna say this, learning about the human experience and behavior. Awesome writing. I want strong character development. That's what I want. I was gonna say character driven, but I don't want it to only give me like not plot driven books, because I like both, but as long as it has strong character development, high quality writing, and something about the human experience, that's perfect. That's perfect. I'm happy with that. Are there any genres that you don't like or aren't interested in reading right now? Honestly, horror is really the only one that comes to mind. That's just really not for me. I'm not really a true crime person. Which of these things, if any, most turn you off a book? You can select up to 3. Ooh, that. I don't like poor writing. I don't like flat characters. All of this is fine. Okay, complete this sentence. I am never or rarely in the mood for books that are... Okay, I'm gonna submit. That was like 3, 4, 5 questions. And we're gonna submit. And I didn't even answer the last one. Okay, this is what it just gave me after completing the quiz. What are you in the mood for? And then we have a mini quiz. This is a mood reader's dream. What's it gonna give me? Eternity Girl, the life cycle of software objects. Never heard of any of these. What is this? This looks so fun. This is a graphic novel, adventurous, reflective, medium paced. Wow. 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 Yes, that's getting added to my to read pile. I am so shook by this little mini quiz up here. Why didn't I not do this earlier? Like, I'm so excited about this. I love that it just gives you these stats right up front. What is that? That looks so fun. Oh my god, this is... I can't wait to play more with this and really like find my footing in storygraph, because I'm already so excited. Like, so excited. Reset. Before I get too overwhelmed, let's go back to my home page. Wow. Okay, so now that I've updated my preferences, this is what my home page looks like, where it has my recommendations filled in now. And then it has my to read pile, and then it has my currently reading. I think I also want to check out some reading challenges. Wait, I can set a pages goal, because on Goodreads, my reading goal, I just set to 1 book, because I read from graphic novels to like really dense nonfiction. It doesn't really make sense for me personally to have a number of books goal, but I can do a pages goal, but I can also browse other challenges. Let's see. Okay, so I am in the Reading Women challenge, so let's view this. Okay, let's just take a moment to appreciate the genius of this being built into the website. So I searched this reading challenge, the 2021 Reading Women challenge, and for every prompt it's listed on here with all of the details. What happens if I click on this? A list of books that have been added to this prompt. Wow, okay. And I can add a book to each prompt. Okay, well, I'm gonna play with that more later. And where else am I at? Reading challenges. There's just a homepage for all the reading challenges, like once I add more of them. Wow. Okay, let's browse. Is there a Goplathon one? Yes, there is. Yes, there is. Wow, I'm blown away. I am blown away. This is just too good. Like, as someone, you guys know I'm in so many readathons and challenges, etc. I can't wait to set all of this up even more. I wonder if it's the same for book clubs. Okay, since I'm nerding out about the reading challenges, I'm gonna fill out as much of this as I can offline, because I think it's gonna be kind of tedious, like fun, but tedious. And then I will bring you back when it's more like fleshed out. Give me a second.
2 hours later.
I just spent like a long time luxuriously exploring and filling out a bunch of reading challenges. am including the Reading Women Challenge and then the 2 monthly challenges, Becca's Bookathon in September and the Magical Readathon in September. That I also found one that tracks the Hugo Award novel finalists this year, which is something I'm working on, and then also the Women's Prize for Fiction winners over the year. And when I click on these, like the Reading Women Challenge I've completely filled out, and it says I am 50% of the way through, which is very satisfying, even though I guess that means I'm slightly behind. But then when you scroll down, it's like, here's all of the rules and info. And then for the ones that I've read, it just syncs up with my data and knows that this was my TBR book and I read it, so it's complete. But like this one is my TBR book and it's not complete. And so when I mark it as read, it will just update the challenge. Like, how genius is this? I'm obsessed. So I went through and I added everything that I want to read for the Reading Women Challenge this year. And I'm so excited about it. Like, look at all of these. Look at all of these. It's so satisfying. I also, as for Becca's Bookathon, which if you watched my TBR that I posted recently, if you're watching this like in September, the way that they set this up is that every space is listed on here as like a bonus. So it's not a percentage-based challenge, but for all the spaces I landed on, like I landed on Monsters, and that's the book I chose. I landed on Myth, Lore, Legend, Fairy Tales, and that's the book I chose. So when I finish all of the spaces I landed on, then I'm able to mark off the done prompt. Tick this when you finish your last book so that it says it's complete, but it's such a nice, fun way to track now that I've like added them into my TBR. The other one that's kind of similar is the Magical Readathon. They're set up with all as bonuses because you only have to do 2 of the 7 numbered prompts. So I put 3 on here, and then it also has all of the other info. I'm still kind of working on my character, to be honest, but there's all of this info down here for those challenges. I'm so impressed, and I had so much fun going through all of this. I can track bit of a spoiler for my channel, but I am working on reading all of this year's Hugo nominees, but some of them are books that are like well into a series. So I was able to add the other books in those series so that I can keep track of them, even though, like in this case, Network Effect is the 5th book in the series, but I still want to read all of the ones leading up to that, you know what I mean? And same with this series, Relentless Moon is the 3rd, and Harrow the 9th is the 2nd. So I'm just feeling very satisfied that I can keep track of all of this. Anyways, pardon the like nerding out a bit, but this is so great. Every reading challenge or readathon I ever do going forward will be tracked in my profile, in my reading challenges tab, and that makes me extremely happy, especially because there's an archive. So even once the reading challenges are passed, I can still eventually go into my archive of reading challenges and be able to have, you know, a history of how well I did in challenges, what challenges I participated in, the books I added to them. Like, I'm just excited about looking back on this information down the road, if that makes sense. There's also, like, if you go into browse, there's all of these other challenges that exist, almost like templates. And there's book clubs and podcast ones. There's like tackle your TBR ones, own voices, nonfiction, literary awards, like all these challenges that I feel like I've barely scratched the surface on. And so I will definitely be digging deeper into all of these, especially for some of the book clubs that I'm trying to keep up with, but I just don't want to overwhelm myself right now, and this feels like it could just be a whole other video down the road when this really, I'm just trying to set up so that I can start using this and stop using my Goodreads account. And that's kind of where I'm at. I feel good with the challenges I've selected, but just so you know, there's like a ton with categories, or you can search for specific readathons or challenges or what have you. So really the last piece of business is the community tab. and I don't really know how to find anyone on Storygraph, but I want to. These are my only 2 friends that I know use Storygraph, and I have sought them out and found them already. So shout out to Haley and Aspasia, because I know that they're already on and active. So this is a plug to say, if you follow me on Goodreads and you want to continue to follow me, I will not be active on Goodreads anymore. I will be active on Storygraph, so you can follow me here. My username, you can see, is Noelle7pages, as it is everywhere. So feel free to come and hang out with me. I'm very excited about this new platform and really excited to see all of like the data and stats that it produces for you every month, or just like on any time frame that you want. Explore the reading challenges, and I think it makes more sense for reviewing also. Basically, what's left for me to work on is the stuff in my profile, where you can see this is what I'm currently reading right now, this is what I recently read, some random 5-star reads, but also all of these tags are like carried over from like the Goodreads shelves. So I want to kind of go in and clean out the gunk within those tags and figure out a system that I'll be able to like work with consistently. So that's something on my plate, but I don't need to do that for like this video in particular. Then it has all my challenges at the bottom. So I'm really happy with this layout as far as like a user profile goes. This makes much more sense to me than the alternative. Reading journal. What's reading journal? Oh my god. Current reads. So I can go into my current reads, track my progress, and add notes. Still just like I'm used to in Goodreads. If you have been following me on Goodreads, if you've been following me on Goodreads, you'll know that as I like read throughout certain books, I will update them and add little notes as I go, and I'm excited that I can still do that on this platform also. I love that it refreshes my recommendations and to read every time I refresh. It just is strangely satisfying to me. But I think that is it for my setup video. So let me go back out into the living room and we will chat and wrap up a little bit. Thank you so much for watching this video. I hope this was interesting. I feel like I learned a lot about Storygraph, even just in that initial process of setting up my account. I'm really excited for all of the features and data and stats, and even just like using the website feels just like more streamlined, more intuitive. I'm able to track my progress on all of those challenges and goals and awards long lists and things like that. And I'm just very excited to kind of try something new and officially have Amazon out of my life, out of my influence. So please let me know 2 things. 1, was this interesting? And also 2, what do you use to track your reading? Do you use like an online tracker like Goodreads or Storygraph? I know there's a few other options online too. Do you use a bullet journal? Do you use a spreadsheet? I'm very fascinated. I would love to know. And also, if you are on Storygraph, like I mentioned before, feel free to come hang out and add me, because now that is where I will be. I am no longer going to be updating my Goodreads if you follow me there. So if it looks like I'm super dead on that account, that this is why, that this is the reason. All right, and thank you for watching. Thank you for hanging out with me today, and I will see you very soon for another video. I love you very much. Bye.